Let's look at Animate.css and how these pre-existing animations in this animation framework can be applied to our Google Doodle. Dan Eden has made a whole bunch of keyframe animations that you can simply add to your projects without any JavaScript. So first off, let's get it working inside of a pen. Here we have our template with a simple SVG image being loaded with the img element. So we have an SVG as file. And then from here we can simply add in Animate.css as one of the existing frameworks, and that gets added in there. The first thing we need to do is select the element to be ran. In this case it's, or to be animated, in this case it's the img element. Then we need to use the animation property to actually run the animation. So first off, what is the name of the animation to be run or ran? And we can pick from any one of these. How about flip out X? And so that's going to be the name of the animation to run, flip out X. So flip out X. And then how fast should it take to run from the first frame to the last frame? How about 1 second? And then you can specify how many times should it run. In this case 3. So there we go, it's being ran 3 times. And then you can use any other of the animations. In this case we're going to use Jello. So there's Jello, or then rubber band. And instead of running for 3 seconds, how about it runs for from the first frame to the last frame in 5 seconds, and instead of running for 3 iterations, how about we run it infinitely? And now rubber band, it should run in 5 seconds infinitely. And let's see if I spelled rubber band correctly. Rubber and band, so I spelled it wrong. There we go. So now let's see how to get Animate.css into our actual CodePen project. Left is the downloaded Animate.css file, and I'm going to upload that to my CodePen project. Once uploaded, I'm going to move it to the CSS folder and then add it to our central style sheet that imports everything. But before I do that, I need to rename this. So following conventions for importing additional CSS files, we're going to do underscore Animate.css, and we're going to change the extension from regular CSS to Sass, so SCSS. Then we're going to go into our central file, which imports our Google Doodle template, and we can simply copy and paste that line, and excluding the SCSS extension, just simply type in animate. Now that it's in the framework, let's test this out and have some content. Here is some sample content in there, and the first thing that we want to do is get organized here. So we have our h1 inside our HTML. We're going to open up our style.scss, select our h1, and simply just change its color. And if it turns to orange, then we know we have the right selector. So refresh that, and is indeed orange. Great, so we have the right selector. Now we can begin to style it. So once that's done, we can run the animation property and run any of these Animate.css. So how about bounce? Easy enough to type. So bounce is the name of the animation that we want to run in 1 second, and make it bounce infinitely, make it bounce forever. And if we refresh this, we should have our h1 bouncing forever. So there we saw how we can first get it working on a pen and then incorporate it into a CodePen project. Practice, application.